What happens when one of Hollywood's biggest stars walks onto a morning show set and everything goes completely off track? When a simple chat turns into a heated argument that no one expected. That's exactly what happened when Mark Wahlberg sat down with Michael Strahan on Good Morning America. What started as a normal promotional spot quickly became one of the most intense on-air moments in morning TV history. Before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below with your thoughts on what really went down. Mark Wahlberg arrives on set for what everyone assumes will be a typical interview. He's there to talk about his new film, and Michael Strahan is ready to start with his usual charm. The cameras roll, the audience quiets down, and Strahan begins with a seemingly harmless question. Mark, great to have you here. You've had an amazing career, from music to movies to business. But I have to ask, some of your old comments have resurfaced lately. How do you feel about people revisiting those past interviews? You can see Wahlberg's expression change instantly. He leans back, and there's a long pause that feels uncomfortable. Then he answers. Michael, with all due respect, I'm here to talk about my new film, not to rehash things said years ago in different times. I think we both know that's not why I came here. Strahan doesn't drop the subject. He keeps his smile, but there's firmness behind it. I get that, Mark. But when you're in the public eye, people are going to ask. It comes with the territory. Viewers want to know where you stand now. Wahlberg leans forward, his tone sharper. Where I stand? I've made it clear. I've grown and changed. I've been open about my past, but I'm not going to sit here and get blindsided with irrelevant questions. That's not what this was supposed to be. The tension is clear now. Some crew members exchange nervous looks, and the audience goes completely silent. Strahan's voice stays calm, but his edge shows. Blindsided? Come on, Mark, this is Good Morning America. We ask real questions here. Nobody's ambushing you. I'm just doing my job. Wahlberg lets out a short laugh, not a friendly one. Michael, you're a host on a morning show, not a hard-hitting journalist. You're asking gotcha questions, hoping it'll go viral. That's what this really is. Strahan's smile fades. He sits up straighter. Hold on. You don't come on my show and tell me how to do my job. I've been doing this for years, interviewing hundreds of people. Our audience deserves real questions, not just movie talk. Then maybe someone should have told me that before I came out. Wahlberg shoots back. You should have been upfront that this wasn't about the film. That would have been honest. We don't shape interviews to make guests comfortable, Strahan says. If you only want soft questions, there are plenty of shows for that. But not here. Soft questions? Wahlberg shakes his head. I've done hundreds of interviews with serious journalists. I've never asked for easy questions. All I expect is basic respect. The wide shot now shows both men fully engaged in what feels more like a standoff. Respect goes both ways, Strahan replies. And our audience deserves honesty, not just promotion. You want to talk about respect? Wahlberg says, his frustration rising. Respect would be focusing on the work, not making fake drama for clicks. Clicks? Strahan's voice rises. You think this show needs clickbait? We're one of the top programs in the country. Could have fooled me, Wahlberg mutters, but the mic catches it. What was that? Strahan snaps. Say it again. I said could have fooled me. Because this feels like a setup. You invited me here under false pretenses and turned it into something else. False pretenses? Strahan repeats. Every guest knows we ask hard questions. That's part of the job. There's a line between hard and hostile, Wahlberg fires back. Right now, you're being hostile. Hostile because I asked about your own words? Strahan leans in. Maybe I'm just trying to get honesty. That last line hits a nerve. Wahlberg's jaw tightens. You think I need talking points? That's insulting, Michael. Then answer the question instead of dodging it, Strahan says sharply. I'm not dodging. I'm calling out what's happening. You trying to make yourself look strong at my expense? Strahan lets out a hard laugh. At your expense? You're a millionaire movie star. You can handle tough questions without acting like a victim. Victim? Wahlberg's voice rises. I'm pointing out that this is unprofessional. Unprofessional? Strahan echoes sarcastically. That's rich coming from someone who's walked off sets before. Excuse me? Wahlberg leans in. What did you just say? You heard me, Strahan says flatly. You've got a reputation. Everyone knows you can be tough when things don't go your way. Wahlberg's temper flares. He half stands, then forces himself to sit back down. I'm tough because I expect professionalism. That's not difficult, that's respect. No, you're difficult because you can't take being challenged, Strahan fires back. You want everyone to laugh and praise you. You want substance? Fine, Wahlberg says bitterly. Let's talk about how shows like this chase viral moments instead of real journalism. Strahan narrows his eyes. Oh, so now I'm not a real journalist? I'm saying right now you're not acting like one. Strahan crosses his arms. Maybe the problem is you can't take the heat. The heat? Wahlberg scoffs. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've faced critics tougher than you. This isn't heat, it's petty. Petty? Strahan says. What's petty is agreeing to an interview and complaining about the questions. I came here in good faith, Wahlberg says firmly. That's what's missing on your end. Good faith? Strahan counters. Then show some by answering honestly instead of attacking me. I'm being honest, Wahlberg replies. Honest about how this isn't professionalism. It's performance. Then maybe you should just leave, Strahan says bluntly. Is that what you want? Wahlberg asks coldly. You want me to walk out so you can spin it? I'm not spinning anything. You're refusing to answer. No, you're twisting my words, Wahlberg shoots back. This isn't an interview. It's an interrogation. Maybe it feels that way because you have something to hide, Strahan says pointedly. Wahlberg freezes. What did you just say? Maybe all this anger means you don't want to face something, Strahan presses. You don't know me, Wahlberg says through clenched teeth. You don't know what I've been through. I know what's been reported, Strahan says. The public record is full of out-of-context quotes, Wahlberg snaps. You're just repeating headlines. So everyone else is wrong? Strahan asks. I'm saying you don't get to ambush me and act self-righteous. There's that word again. Ambush, Strahan replies. This is just conversation. No, this is competition to you, Wahlberg says. You think this is about winning. What it's about, Strahan says, is not backing down when someone gets uncomfortable. Uncomfortable? Wahlberg laughs. I've done stunts that would terrify you. This isn't discomfort. It's dishonesty. Strahan steps closer. I'm trying to have a real talk. By questioning my character? Wahlberg says. By accusing me? By asking you to be accountable, Strahan says. I've taken accountability, Wahlberg replies heatedly. But I won't sit here while you try to make me look like a villain. I'm not making you look like anything, Strahan says. I'm just doing my job. No, you're creating a moment, Wahlberg says coldly. That's what this is, your viral moment. Everything's about you, isn't it? Strahan snaps. You can't accept being treated like everyone else. You don't treat every guest this way, Wahlberg counters. You came at me from the start. I treat everyone based on what matters, Strahan says. Some interviews are light, some are hard. Yours is hard. You decided that before I walked in, Wahlberg replies. You came in with an agenda. Having questions isn't an agenda, Strahan says. It's preparation. Wahlberg exhales sharply. I feel sorry for you, Michael. You think ambushing people makes good TV? Don't pity me, Strahan fires back. Feel sorry for yourself. You just showed everyone you can't handle pressure. What I showed, Wahlberg says, standing now, is that I won't be disrespected. Disrespected? Strahan stands too. You've been defensive since the first question, because the first question was a setup. Wahlberg snaps. No one's buying that, Strahan says. Everyone saw what happened. You made this into a scene. This was never going to be fair, Wahlberg says. You came here ready for a fight. Then leave, Strahan says again. If it's that bad, walk off. Wahlberg stares at him. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Another clip to share online. Walk away if you want, Strahan says coldly. But don't blame me. I'm not running, Wahlberg says quietly. I'm walking away from a toxic situation. He unclips his microphone, his hands shaking slightly. Strahan watches him. You're making a mistake, he says. The mistake was trusting this show, Wahlberg replies. Thinking it was professional? Everything's someone else's fault with you, Strahan says. Wahlberg turns back one last time. Not everything, but this one's on you. They'll decide for themselves, Strahan says. Yeah. Wahlberg nods. They will. He sets the microphone on the chair and walks off the set. The studio is silent. Strahan faces the camera, his expression unreadable. The camera pans to the empty chair where Wahlberg sat just moments before. And just like that, what began as a simple morning interview became one of the most unforgettable showdowns in live television history. Mark Wahlberg versus Michael Strahan, an exchange no one will forget anytime soon.